this does not come back to bite me in the butt, because I didn't really have a plan going into this. I just was kind of throwing blocks down willy-nilly, hoping that it will work for our future project. I needed to get something down, and I think this will work. I think it'll work. I hope it'll work. I'm in kind of a creative block situation. Oh, by the way, it's raining, of course, obviously. Right as I trying to explain myself. But anyway, I'm in kind of a creative block situation where I don't really know where to take this next, like the next middle section up here. That will go, like, branch off right here and kind of go into this middle section. I don't know what to do for the layout in this area. So, and I don't even know if I want to do it out of stone bricks or a different block or anything like that. So I'm just going to put that on the back burner for now. My next option today could be to build up the walls and kind of make this place more of what it would look like at the end of the game. But I don't want to do that either. What I want to do is redstone. So while I was building this section of the dungeon here, I was thinking, how cool would it be if the entrance to the escape room only allowed entry at midnight? So during the day, during the morning, during the evening, these doors are closed, but only at when the moon is directly above the player in here. Maybe there's a glass roof here. When the moon is exactly at midnight, does the dungeon open and let you in. I think that would be super sick. And it would help build anticipation, especially if you're the only one here. You can't just walk up and walk right in. The odds that you show up right at midnight are really slim. So it would give the player a chance to kind of check out what's going on here, read the book, read whatever I have set up here. So I think it would be absolutely perfect. So let's get figuring this out. Night is coming, and the facility will awaken as soon as the sky is at its darkest. Oh, my timing was a little bit off. Come on now. Anytime now. Oh, I'm gonna have to have a glass ceiling on this place, because that's so cool, this effect. Oh. And there it is. It reached its darkest. Night is now the darkest it can be, and the door opened. And now I am allowed to enter. And apparently my door is pretty slow on that side. All right, we fixed it. We figured it out. So that's how it works at nighttime. Just as before, it just toggles on and off. Well, the doors flip back and forth between each other at nighttime. However, the reason why this took me several hours, condensed into a 30-second time-lapse, and several iterations, as you saw in the time-lapse, the reason why it took so long is because I wanted it to allow the player to exit during the day. So let's say the player entered at night, and they took 10 minutes or whatever to finish the puzzle, or 30 minutes. I don't know exactly how long it'll take, but it's day when they want to exit. So now that it's day, we want these pressure plates to open this door temporarily, which they do. And they also flip those inside doors as well. Let's free cam that real quick. Now we can see that the inside doors are closed because no one's in the game, right? So I want these doors to open as you walk up. So no one's in the game, so they're closed. And that's the effect exactly the effect that I want. So during the day, if you show up during the day, it's closed. It will only open, like we saw earlier, right as it reaches its darkest point. And looking behind the scenes a little bit, we have this pink spaghetti mess of redstone. In my mind, it's quite simple, so I'll try to explain it in a simple way. So that this is kind of the heartbeat of the whole thing. This is what tells it to toggle between day and night mode. We have the daylight sensor. The daylight sensor's darkest setting is 11. So right now it's dark. Sorry, it's day. Right now it's day, so it's 0. But when it's completely dark, it's 11. So we have enough items in here to have the comparator read 10. So it outputs a signal strength of 10 here. And that because this comparator is set to subtract mode, it will only output a signal when it reaches the darkest point, or 11. So that signal will do 2 things. First of all, it will go up here, turn this off, opening the doors. It'll also go down and around here, and down here, and up here, and unpower this comparator. This light, which the comparator is reading, this bulb, determines or is the indicator of whether or not someone is in the room right now. So we could simulate someone walking across the pressure plates with this button. So that would be someone walking across the pressure plates. Someone is now currently active in the room. And because they're active in the room, this comparator is sending a signal out, closing the door behind them. And that also sends the signal this way to the door, the second set of doors, I guess. Moving on to kind of this portion here, this is just a pulse extender to keep the door open long enough to allow the player to leave before it closes behind them. Yeah, I think that's the bulk of it. Originally, I was going to have like a daylight sensor out here with this kind of the same circuit output when it's the darkest. And then it was going to start a timer to track the difference between that point and midnight, and then that was going to start a timer to keep it open for a minute, and this was just much simpler, and I'm glad I didn't go with that, because that would have been a nightmare when it came to like exiting during the day and all of that like exceptional circumstances. So anyway, this is what I landed on after several iterations and like 2.5 hours of working on it. It's been a day in real life for me, and I've made some changes. Still iffy on the block palette, but I made some improvements, I think, to the opening sequence. Hopefully no one sleeps it away. But check it out. I think it's really, really cool. We'll just have to wait for, again, the peak darkness of night, and then we will see when it opens. Maybe. Oh, wait. I forgot to hook up the daylight sensor. No! It's still a lever. I was doing some testing with the lever, and I forgot to hook up this thing back. Dang it. Gosh, dang it. Alright, well, let's try again. But while we wait for night, there's one more idea I want to propose today, and that has to do with the replayability of Blackout Breakout. So right now there's not really any real reason for someone to come back and play it a second time. This is where my last escape room really fell short, where it's like once you do all the puzzles, you know all the answers, and there's not really any reason to come back and do it again. However, today I want to address that, at least in this escape room, by introducing achievements in the forms of banners. So obviously these will be like custom images and custom banners that you wouldn't be able to just make on your own. And each banner will represent like a different achievement that you got while you were in the game. So for example, this one could be like under 10 minutes or whatever time. And this one could be no deaths. You did it all in one life, or, you know, things like this, where it's you have an incentive to come back and do it better than you did before. So please let me know if you have any banner designs in mind you could submit to me and how to make them, or if you have any achievement ideas that I could implement into the game, because right now I just have the 2 ideas that I gave for an example just a second ago, and I'm sure more will come, but I really appreciate you guys' feedback. So yeah, just let me know if you have any ideas. Okay, darkness is coming. The facility will soon awaken. Check it out. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh. So, okay, so there's two things going on here that I added. First of all, obviously the note block sequence, just did like a spooky chord essentially. And then I added a couple of wither skull note blocks to activate whenever the doors change. Because I noticed that if you were standing at the back of the lobby, like back here, you wouldn't be able to hear the piston noises. And the piston noises don't make good door sounds anyway. So I added those wither skull sounds to kind of symbolize the door moving. We can hear it again once we sleep. Yeah, you heard it again there. So every time the doors shift, you kind of get the wither skull sound, the wither skeleton sound. So I think that's so cool, and I think that adds so much immersion to this lobby area. I may have gone a little overboard with the decorations in here, but I think all of the additions are so cool. The glass roof, you're able to see the sky, and this is the only point in the whole room, the whole facility, that you'll be able to see the sky in the natural light. I changed the lamps to bulbs because the lamps were a bit too bright, and I changed these to soul lanterns. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Anyway, I changed these to soul lanterns because the normal lanterns were a bit too bright too. I wanted it to be when the night is approaching, the little light that's in this room is coming from the door in this area. So it just kind of draws your eye to the door as it's getting darker and darker, and then finally, when it gets as dark as can be, it opens up. So that's kind of like the thought process throughout there. And then I also redid the exit room. So let's go up there real quick. So as you finish all of the generators and all the rooms, all the puzzles are done, everything is powered on, you'll come back up to this spot where I added a poem. You are required to stay until you turn the dark today. So if you happen to wander up here before you solve all the puzzles, then this little poem will give you a hint as to what you need to do and to where you exit. So wandering into here real quick, we have obviously a redone exit room. If you want your flag that you achieved while you're in the escape room, you just push this button and it'll drop onto this block, which will be a lodestone once the recipe changes from netherite to iron. It's much cheaper to make lodestones. And perhaps even we can give a compass out, maybe hide a compass in the escape room, so it's easier to navigate with the compass tied to this lodestone. Moving on to this one, this section here, this will be a chest. I didn't have a chest in my inventory when I built this, so I just put this block here. Chest or a barrel, just to drop your stuff off. There'll be a sign that's just like, drop off all your stuff before you leave. And then, so if you found a compass in the escape room, you'll just return it here, and then when you're done, push this button to exit. Everything will reset, all the items will go back, all the lights will turn off, just like before, and you will be free to exit. I am so happy with all of the progress we made today. We built the first section of our layout and this little plaza area. We did so much redstone. We added a nighttime detection system that will open at night. We added this little, the music, the audio cue. Not really music, it's just a chord, but it adds so much to the experience of initially walking into the facility. We added some tentative decorations. I needed something to frame this entrance here, but all of this could change theoretically. And then finally we finished the exit room, of course. We got a barrel in here finally, and a sign. Return any of your items here, get your flag here, and when you're absolutely done with everything, you push the button to exit, and you drop back into this where you are free to exit. Oh, I'm so happy with how this is all coming together. The progress is making me so excited just to keep working on it. I just want to do nothing else, but unfortunately I have other responsibilities in life. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.